Welcome in everybody to Flannelman here. Today we're going to be doing the first ever episode of Tarkov Tactics. This episode is mainly going to be about attacking the power station on Interchange from outside the fence. Let's grab some coffee, get some boots on the ground, and jump right into it. The first thing we need to talk about is the layout outside the power station. From the information I've gathered, there are three main ways to attack the power station. The first of which being the road along the back of the building itself. Now, this is one of the better ways to go about attacking the station because of all the trees and cover that you have as you approach the building. The main issue you will encounter attacking from this direction would be if there is a sniper on top of the building. With that being said, however, this is still, in my opinion, the safest route to take. The second most viable option is from the mall itself. Now, this area can be divided into the garages and the ramps, each of which bringing their own drawbacks and benefits to the table. There are two main aspects when considering where to attack from, mainly height and cover. If you attack from the garages, you lose some height, which hinders you from finding angles against people on the catwalks inside the power station itself. However, by giving up the height advantage, you gain more cover to peek from, as well as force people inside to cover more angles. Now, if you attack from the top of the ramps surrounding the garage, the advantage you gain is height. As stated before, you can put that height to good use, attacking anyone who wants to try to poke their squishy little head outside the safety of the power station. The drawback to this area, generally speaking, is that you lose viable cover at reasonable distances. This is especially troublesome if there's a sniper on top of the power station. The final path I want to talk about today is actually what I like to call Deadman Street. This street, in my opinion, is the most hazardous way to attack the power station you can possibly think of. The reason we're talking about this path last is so that you understand how bad this path actually is. From this direction, even to enter the power station, you have to cross 30 feet of open land with little or no cover. You're essentially a sitting duck the entire time you're trying to enter the power station. On top of the fact, if there is somebody in the power station, whether that be on the grounds outside of, or on the catwalks inside, or on the roof of the power station itself, you're probably still dead. All it takes is one scav with a hunter, or one player with decent aim, and you'll just be another dead body on the side of the road. But let's say there's no one in the power station proper. Would I recommend this path? The short answer is no. There are just too many other angles to cover, whether that be the far side of the power station, the top of the ramps, or the garages themselves that you can get flanked from, and still end up like that still lifeless corpse on the side of the road. With all that being said, I still believe this path is useful in very specific and selected situations. For instance, I believe this path to be a good direction to cover the other avenues of attack from as your teammates push the station. If you lay down on this side of the station, you prevent the people inside of the station from pushing out and killing your teammates. Now that you have this side of the power station locked down, let's move on to the far side. On this side of the power station, the main form of cover you have are the transformers sticking out of the ground. These transformers do provide some cover, but they do have some drawbacks as well, especially if there's an enemy mixed in there with you. With that being said, the first thing you should do is clear the transformers of any enemies that might be lurking around, including the little outbuildings that are mixed in as well. Be careful when throwing grenades in this area, however, because they tend to not travel in a straight path and bounce around. As you clear the transformers and approach the power station, you should be careful of the sniper on top of the roof if there is one. Generally speaking, the sniper will have a better angle on you than you do on them, but you do have quite a few angles to peek out of to try and shoot them back. When sneaking through the transformers, always remember this rule of thumb. They can't hit a moving target. Once you get close enough, lob a grenade on top of the roof, and that should be the end of that problem. Let's move on to attacking the power station building itself. Let's presume that you've already entered the power station proper, gotten through the fence and the turbines, and you're trying to siege the building. Your main goal, if you already know there are people inside of the power station, is to cut off their escape routes, especially the extraction at the back. As you move around to the backside of the power station, you'll notice a yellow pipe running along the entire wall. This yellow pipe, especially, is fairly good at protecting you from gunfire from inside of the power station if you lay down. However, if they chuck a grenade at you, the grenade can roll right underneath the pipe and kill you fairly easily. Besides the pipe, this area generally speaking has very little cover. Again, I would use this area as more of a flanking position or a support position to help your teammates push the power station. If you are alone, however, and you want to use this area, I'd recommend using contacts or ear devices to hear where enemies are inside the power station and try to position yourself in a way to kill them once they come out. At this point in the video, I want to run down everything we've talked about and a successful attack, or an example of a successful attack, on the power station. The first and most important part is to gather information about what you're about to do. Am I by myself or with a squad? Is there a sniper on top of the station? How about the catwalks? Is someone looting the stashes or boxes outside the station, and are they easy to pick off? Or would it be more difficult? Are there any scavs inside of the station you can use to your advantage against people inside of the station, or will they just get in your way when you try to move in? Once you have run through your mental checklist, your priorities in order are clearing the outside of the station, making sure there are no snipers on the catwalks or on top of the station, and then attempting to siege the station itself. If you do things out of order, generally speaking, there will most likely be casualties on your side. Don't forget to use the buildings as cover as you push up, as well as the transformers. In my opinion, the best way to clear the inside of the station is grenades. There are a couple of spots where one good placed grenade will clear out a corner for a teammate to move in. These include on the catwalks, in the office windows, and just on the floor of the power station itself. Don't forget, if you are in a group, your biggest advantage is being able to push multiple angles and multiple entrances of the power station at the same time. So even if there is someone inside, they'll still end up dead. Alright guys, let's talk about today's special loot spot. Today we'll be talking about the codes inside of the power station. Now, there are two that are fairly visible from the outside of the bathroom. Loot these guys and then move into the bathroom itself and you'll find two more, as well as a couple spawns of maybe food or water products. Alright guys, those are the best tactics out there at the moment. If you saw something you liked or learned something new, leave a like and comment on the bottom of the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and see y'all next time.